what advice could you give to us amateurs, novices who don't have that sort of a network,
Right.
to begin with?
Right. I think the only place where Axel helped me, and even kind of Prodigal helped me, was I would say that it made fundraise slightly easier because I knew the investor community. But one thing that it didn't teach me was how to do sales. And sales is something that I learned completely independently. You don't get taught that in a VC stint. At Prodigal, actually, I realized like how important it is to get traction. And I basically spent time with a person who was really good at sales, and he taught me how to do cold calls. He taught me how to come up with a script, how to pitch, and then how to move a client down the sales funnel. And I would say that was even more important than anything that I had learned at Axel. When it comes to getting the initial traction, I would literally pick up the phone, speak to 40 companies in a day, make 40 cold calls in a day to HRs, and then 5 good conversations would come out of them, and just do that over like 3 to 6 months to then build like our portfolio of clients. So yeah, I would, and this is something that anybody can do. You don't need to come from a background. Doing sales is such a 0 to 1 skill. Anyone can pick it up and get good at it, and then it's so valuable when go from being nothing to then having a pipeline of clients who are actually interested in your product, who are also teaching you what the market really needs. So I think that's I would say to focus on that for anyone. You don't need the background, you don't need anything. Sales is something that anyone can become good at.
Thank you so much, Saransh.
How do you find a co-founder who's technical, and how do you choose, okay, he's the right one, and what are the possible conflicts when you hire employees during equity split?
That's a good question. I think both Yash and I can take a stab. In general, I think finding a technical co-founder is easier than finding a business co-founder, I would say. So I knew this was going to be tough. So my approach was, let me at least get 30 conversations with potential CTO co-founders, and let me reach out to every single person in my network who remotely knows anything about tech. And I pinged people on LinkedIn. I used some of the YC network. I spoke to like 10 friends from IIT Bombay, and then focus on not just the email and messaging and all of that, and actually getting into conversations, and then making an explicit request to people that, hey, can you connect me to 4 or 5 other people in the network? I think focus on having conversations with technical people, even if it doesn't lead to an outcome, and then eventually things will happen. The way I look at it is, if you can't find a CTO co-founder to come and join your company, then that's almost like the first sales thing that you have to do as a business co-founder. As a business co-founder, your primary job is going to be doing sales. So just taking this as one of the parts of the puzzle along, and give it its time. Like, it takes 3-6 months. So don't be afraid of that. Give it its due share of time as well. Yeah, I think one of your follow-up questions, Bhagesh, was on the co-founder equity split.
Yeah.
YC actually has a good article on this, where they basically say that if more or less people have started around the same time, just go for an equal split. Uh, there's not too much merit in doing plus minus 10-15% here and there, unless like there is something very significantly different, where, let's say, either in terms of experience there's a very significant difference, one person is bringing something X which is much more valuable than what someone else is doing, or there's a significant difference in terms of time, where one person has worked for 1.5 years, has invested some money, and another person is just coming right now. But if you are broadly starting around the same time, do an equal split. If you're uncomfortable with doing an equal split, question that whether you actually consider the other person as an equal partner in the long journey. And if you don't, then maybe it's not a good idea to start up with them. But if you do, then it's probably a good idea to just keep things simple, start with an equal split, and go on there. People obviously have a different viewpoint. A lot of people feel like, an unequal split makes sense. But yeah, that's my, I'm influenced more by the YC way of thinking about this, and yeah.